Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to this round of 16 race between Rhybon and LordBobBree. I am NG Dave, and joining me tonight is our restreamer Xenocat, our tracker Tybalt, and my co-commentator Inven. How are you doing tonight, Inven?
Hey, I'm doing great, NG Dave. Looking forward to this matchup. Rhybon's been on a bit of a tear, one of two remaining racers in this tournament who have not dropped a single game. And of course, LordBobBree is looking very much to equalize this best of three and hand Rhybon that first L, if he can pull it off.
Well, our runners will have an interesting start with this Yang to lead things off, so probably looking for J items right away.
Yeah, Yang, although he has great endgame upswing on this flag set. If you don't find good gear, Yang doesn't care. All he wants are levels. Early game, he is doing fairly little damage unless you're hitting a really good elemental weakness, but who has time to hunt every claw? We've got checks to make, we've got places to visit. So yeah, J items would be good, or even just having a partner who can take care of the early game would be really nice as well.
And we see our naming schemes, it seems Rhybon is going for them sick gains. Although leaving the kids out of the gym.
Yeah, I mean, you can't bring the kids to the gym. There's all these heavy weights and machinery. Better to have them outside, playgrounds, aerobic exercise. There's too much liability involved. You just can't do that. And we do see exercise names coming in for the kids that do not involve weights or machinery. All right. I mean, I guess you could carry a couple of dumbbells while doing your lunges, but
of course, Kane's doing jumps. Why wouldn't he be?
So, didn't get quite a good view of all the objectives. Let's see, as soon as the naming is complete here, we'll probably get a look at them. All right, we got a tower key for Super Cannon, Pan, Darkness Crystal for a few moon objectives, Hook, Pinktail, Baron Key, and one way underground, either Hook or Magna Key. So that's a decent little. I forgot to count while I was reading them all off.
I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's like 6.5, 7, so decent little chunk of things. We do have that Masamune altar, one of the nastiest spots in the game. Extremely high physical attack, extremely high magic attack, and it's all the way at the bottom. Of course, that does provide the slight potential of a swag walk tonight. Maybe our runners will get rid of all these other objectives and get to take care of Rhybon and Masamune altar right at the very end. But with that, we are underway.
Yang's joined by a healer. Any white mage in a storm, right?
Oh yeah, and of course on this flag set, we don't have Cecil, we don't have Fu. Your sources for exit are Porum, Tella, and if you're lucky enough to get an Earth Crystal, then Rosa will finally learn it. But no key item thus far, an assassin knife that nobody on this team can use. Where do you go from here, NG Dave?
My routing in this tournament has always been the same to start. Check Bedward.
Yeah, we got that free key item turned on, making it where there are no boss hunts involved. Not even looking for a D-miss. You can get a freebie. And I think Earth Crystal or Hook would both be very thrilling here.
Yes, they would.
Which means, of course, we're probably going to get a Luca key or something.
I'm thinking Samurai Helm.
Ooh, low rolling. Here we go. Rhybon going to give us our first view of it. It's at least you would be able to sell a Samurai Helm. Adamant Rock, half the forge. I don't think we have to forge this seed. Sometimes, though, the prospect of that tier 7 or 8 item can be too much to withstand.
The shop is sometimes useful to open up.
Oh yeah. So public treasury check makes sense. You're already here. Maybe you find something worth selling. Maybe you find something someone can use.
Maybe you find that.
For what it's worth, a flame spear means if there is a Kane in the fight on Hobbs, you can probably go ahead and take that.
That's very true.
Exit item means that if you find Rosa, you can probably swap Porum for her if you want. And a cabin, well, no one wants to hunt for camping supplies, and it gets kind of awkward if you get stuck in the bottom of the moon without any way to actually heal yourself up.
That's very true. We did see a quick check on LordBobBree's side that Yang is high rolling tonight. That was a Poison Claw.
Ooh, I thought he only ever started with a Charm Claw on these flags. Shows what I know.
He's got to mix it up sometimes, you know. Gets too predictable if it's the same item all the time.
Yep. Rhybon launches that hovercraft, knows that, well, I have to turn in the pink tail at some point. No harm in going ahead and getting it launched from the Damsian basement. And BobBree is heading on into Eblin Castle. Some higher tier loot here, but you'll probably be taking a reset or 3 because of all the trap chests.
You say a reset or 3. I've gone 4 or 5 already.
Where was that monster chest? Oh, it was that one. Where was that? Oh, it was that one. Oh.
Who here can say they haven't opened the same trap chest 3 times?
It happens to all of us at some point. Now, 2 things that BobBree found there I really like. One is the Thunderclaw. That is an extremely great Yang weapon. We already know Dr. Luge is at the Baigan spot. That affords quadruple damage against a couple of parts of that fight. And of course, Odin's probably out there somewhere.
Also helps against, say, the Turtle, Octomam. Just all around very useful claw.
Yeah, if you have to pick one elemental claw to get you through the seed, Thunderclaw would be most runners' picks, I bet.
And that's the reason it's most expensive of the elemental claws.
But the other nice thing in there was a Boreas J item. Does a pretty powerful Ice 2 spell on all targets. It won't one-shot a lot of things unless it's like split fight, but it can still do you some good. Rhybon, meanwhile, finds Evil Wall. And with a base level Yang here, how many hits do you think this is going to take?
So how many hits does Gate take to extend Evil Wall? A 1, a 2, a 3.
Let's see. In a combined round, the Elvenbow Porum and the Power Punching Yang did about a 5th of it. So this isn't so bad, but it's not, the dream either.
Now, and chat pointing out, LordBobBree did also find a Stardust Rod in Eblin, so most likely going to immediately check the character.
Oh yeah, even a Tella here is great. Tella, Rydia, or Palom, anyone you can put this Stardust Rod on, that will carry you through the vast majority of the overworld.
And you basically need a vessel for the rod at this point.
Now, for whatever small comfort there is for this starting duo, the fact that Evil Wall is an Antlion has to be a sigh of relief. This boss cheats the ATB system by starting chains, punches real hard in a lot of spots, so having it where it can't do diddly squat for damage is a very nice find.
That's the wrong kid.
Well, one of the nice things about duplicate characters is you can do twin magic with any 2 twins in the game. Porum may not have the right stat for it, but you'd still have access to it. But you don't think we quite have the agility manipulation to get through that wyvern, do we?
Nope. Charm Claw would have been helpful there.
Nope. Although Rhybon got the real big ticket item. That was the Party Rock.
Yes, it was.
It does feel a little bad to immediately have to walk back into the same treasury that gave you Bubkiss, but let's see what value lies within here.
Yeah, hopefully something good for this party.
Raise that treasury!
Hey, there's that samurai hat you were looking for.
No, the Stardust Rod that negates the advantage BobBree would have had if the Black Mage showed up.
Yeah. Hourglass and a Sork robe, though, both very nice. Again, this team's still going to have a little bit of a tricky time with that Wyvern. But if Rhybon can get that second Porum, you're at least getting some bonus to Black Magic from the 5 points of Wisdom from the Elven Bow and the 5 points from the Sorcerer robe.
That's true. That will make Twin Magic more viable.
And of course, the Protect Ring, a couple of J items that... It's kind of cute that Rhybon got a couple of the J items that are based off of your HP total, the Fire Bomb and the Lightning Bolt. Because if there's one thing that Yang has in spades, it is HP. Admittedly, right now it's probably only going to do like 150 to 200 to everything. But you get to that mid-game and all of a sudden, it's kind of nice to have one or two of those kicking around.
And the other advantage of that treasury, it's money. As we see Rhybon, well, selling a good deal of it.
Now, one cute pickup here by Rhybon did buy ice arrows, kind of a niche purchase. But if we do have a Rubicon gating our way underground, ice arrows plus Elven Bow can definitely save the day.
A smart pickup there. Saw a single kamikaze purchased.
Handy for helping bypass cutscenes or making your Golbez fights a little more doable.
Or if you just need to, if you just want to try to crumble skip.
Oh yeah, those bosses that take forever to crumble, if you kill them with a kamikaze, you just get the standard fade out. Pretty handy.
Especially if that boss is, say, Plague. Where the crumble takes approximately 3 years to finish.
Absolutely. Now, this Wyvern up on Mount Hobbs, let's take a look at what its stats are. Its speed, base speed will be 7, and it gets 2 rolls of Mega Nuke. I don't think either of Rhybon's... Actually, between that Sork Robe and the stat bonuses it gives might make it to where... Or, okay, never mind. Yang is just fast enough. Just run buffer and ta-da. That'll get it done as well.
Yeah, no need to get fancy here.
Both runners missing out on a little bit of Porum XP, though. LordBobBree's Porum got fully petrified back in the Evil Wall fight, and both Rhybons got their faces melted.
They'll be fine. You know, just dust themselves off.
They are dust. They're all made of dust at this point.
Okay. All right, how about Yang sweeps them up, takes them to the inn.
There we go. That'll get the job done. Soma drops and antidotes for sale here. Don't really care about either of those. The item shops here being a little stingy. There's a lot of stuff you'd like to find that we're just not seeing. Gets an Ice Claw as well. Yang has plenty of the elements covered at this point, it seems.
Charm arrows are nice. Best arrow you can find for sale in the Overworld.
Oh, yeah.
Well, highest attack, not necessarily best.
True, true. Hitting those elemental and racial weaknesses is always extremely potent.
I might consider mute arrows to be the best in the Overworld because Magus Sisters are a thing.
Oh, yeah. You have a D-Mist walking up here. The boss pool so far, I would say, has been exceedingly kind. Like, we saw the Mega Nuke from the Wyvern, and you think that's gross, but getting Evil Wall, Wyvern, D-Mist out of the way in these first 3 boss spots, I don't hate that at all if I'm one of these runners.
Yeah, a lot of the root's gone already. And what do we have left that could still hope for a stay at Magus Sisters at Ogopogo. Holding a pigtail, of course, so you don't have the item going into it.
LordBobBree here gonna camp and looks to be planning a run into Baron here. Kind of scary. This team doesn't have a lot of output. You'd really have to be hoping for a couple of free or extremely... what's the word I'm looking for with regard to these bosses? Cheesable? Vampires would help, though, if you can afford to buy enough.
I think LordBobBree's got a few J items. Might be looking for something maybe with an elemental weakness. Like, elements at spot 2 would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You just need to get to the... You just need to get to the Ruby phase, and a Bray sends the fight.
And we do see another Lunar Sparkle here in slot 1. This
This is gonna hurt.
The vampire purchases there will be fantastic as long as LordBobBree gets a turn and gets it off before the punches come. This spot hits pretty hard for something that only has 400 HP.
A single vampire should one-shot there.
Yeah. I think this is also a situation where you definitely give consideration to turning your battle speed down just a little bit to make sure you do get that first attack off after the wave, but before the punch comes.
I didn't see what Rhybon... I didn't see the exact time. Was that a Crystal Helm from...
It was! So, no value there. You can sell it for a little bit of change, but the only character who can equip it will not be appearing in this seed.
Okay, so basically the King of Football gave you a little bit of money for defending a castle.
Yeah. And you got, the smug sense of satisfaction knowing you will not be dealing with a D-Mist anywhere else in the universe. Rhybon now also going to head into Evelyn. We didn't see the greatest of loot here. Now, Rhybon does have an hourglass, though. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that used just to get a kill on literally any trap chest here and get the money. And the
XP. Some charm arrows and charm claws. I think we're about to see the Mad Ogres taken.
Ooh. If I remember right, they are in the left tower. Isn't that one that we saw LordBobBree approach and encounter?
I think they were in the center tower.
Ah, pardon me.
I'm not sure. It's been 10 minutes.
Yeah. There's that Thunderclaw for Rhybon as well, so yeah, okay. Left tower was nice and free. Now, LordBobBree, meanwhile, is going after this D-Mist as well. Left the other Porum behind. I'm surprised we're not seeing a little more of that twin cast. Like, we have the rare... Like, if we find a Tiara, you can stack Elven Bow, Sork Robe, Tiara all on one of those Porums, and as long as you do it in the right order, it should use that plus 20 black magic stat for rolling the twin spell, and that would actually be remarkably potent here.
Agreed. That would do some serious work. I think we're about to see the Mad Ogres. I think it was his chest.
Stardust Rod and Medusa Arrows, of course, both very handy. Now the question is, do we get... Oh, we even have a coffin there if we need to. Alright, that was wonderful luck. Not a single one punched at Yang, so he gets this hourglass off scot-free. Doing the double Charm Claw there for the agility boost was also really spot on. Very well done by Rhybon. Oh, Life Glitch is coming out. Let's go.
And remember to take the one Charm Claw off because those things have, well, they claim to have accuracy.
So tell me a little bit about the Life Glitch, Dave. Why are we seeing these life potions thrown?
Sure thing. So enemies in this game the life spell revives anyone who's hit with it with a total of vitality times 5 HP. Enemies in this game all have 0 vitality. So any enemy that doesn't have the boss bit will be revived with exactly 0 HP and then immediately die again, granting you the XP and gold and, I guess, drops as if you had defeated the enemy a second time.
And Rhybon here looks to be casting Exit. Got a Gungnir Spear out of there. If you find Kain, pretty good weapon for him. If you don't, it'll help buy a few good things for the team. But more notably, got one Porum up to the Berserk spell. Yang may not hit hard, but that will still do him a world of good with an otherwise very weak team offensively.
Yeah, we see LordBobBree's going to take another crack at that Ogopogo with a few more levels in hand.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes this time. Getting that Sid would be great for LordBobBree.
So, looks like our team right now is going to be Porums and giant pools of HP.
Love a good pool of HP. Gets the power punch off, but it's not quite enough damage. Again, Yang just early game. His damage algorithm scales primarily with his level. Like, it's not even like his stats will give him multipliers, but the actual damage is all about that level, and that's why it's very hard to see really get traction with him here in this early game.
That's a free fight in the second spot.
Yeah, they will punch hard, they will punch slow, but he does have that hourglass, he has a coffin.
I'm not sure if Yang survives this punch. Nope.
Yeah, the choosing to power punch there is even more dangerous because it drops your defense and just let that guard do a ton of damage there. I don't hate burning the hourglass here. You know, you think, I should probably save this for a nice trap chest somewhere, maybe get a good drop. But I think just getting through the fight and getting that Sid is far more valuable than the hourglass is right now.
Agreed, and that's a lesson that's hard to learn sometimes, when to throw your J items.
Meanwhile, up here, Rhybon is dealing with the D Lunars, and on a bit of a clock here. It's kind of awkward here, because we love the D Lunar frog strats. You know, you reflect their breath, they turn into frogs, you're off scot-free. But at a spot this easy, you don't really want to waste Star Veils on it. But notices that Fire Bomb, heals up Yang. That's one of those spots where that HP pool came in real nice.
Yes, it was. And those D Lunars only had 1400 HP apiece. They're not... You're getting the fight well before that breath comes out.
Now, BobBree's here for the rematch against these two, is pulling out the Hourglass. As long as that goes off before Yang gets punched, he is golden.
Make sure to heal him up. You just need one of these two to survive if they queued up attacks first.
Does have a coffin, does have those Medusa arrows that may also be able to proc at this point. But now Rhybon is in a bit of a pickle.
Oh.
What a nasty fight here.
That is one of the worst things to show up in the back attack.
I think that you really do need to life up your other Porum here, if only to take hits and throw Cure 2s. You may want to keep her down because of the anchoring prospects, but this is just real scary.
Yeah, Yang's gonna be fine up until the fourth spell comes out.
Yeah, the Protect Ring is doing work here. It's halving the damage of all the elemental ones. It does not half the virus spell.
Yeah, this spot has relatively good magic. Okay, and Mindy's down, so we're safer.
Safer, but but are we safe enough?
But now Cindy's in the front row, so is dealing full damage.
Protect Ring will still help without a whole bunch, though. 72 from that hit, that's not bad, but we really need to see Cindy die before she lives up that sister. Uh-oh. And notably, again, shout-outs to our restreamer and tracker again. Xenocat rolling the seed, Tybalt taking care of the clicking the buttons when he has to. That was only a ninja sword from the Baron Inn.
Oh, this is just preparing Xenocat for a panic pushing of buttons later, and yeah, that was the fight. The virus is about to come out.
Yeah, but meanwhile, BobBree does get through that fight, adds a Sid to the team, but BobBree did not open that chest with the Ogre Axe in it. I think if you were to swap these two characters' inventories or their two teams, each one would be living a much better life right now.
So where was that Ogre Axe?
It was the first chest on Hobbs after you deal with that Wyvern to get that Porum. And BobBree doesn't want any of that. But it's a viable target for an Elven Bow as well, and definitely has the HP to survive this better than the Porums do.
And an Elven Bow will certainly do work in this fight.
Yeah, I think here you have to choose not to worry about your anchor and run the risk of that other Porum getting a level. Oh, and that's the nastiest thing that could have happened there. So what Rhybon was doing there, Rhybon was actually having Porum self-zerk with that Elven Bow. But the wall got bounced onto that Porum, so her Zerk would have whiffed.
And Rhybon said, I've had enough of these sisters, I'm done.
Rhybon will have a much easier time when he comes back, if he comes back, because Rhybon's going to get that Sid in the Baron Inn now, and will have a lovely, lovely Ogre Axe to put on him as well.
He's basically saying, these Magus sisters are jerks, I'm coming back later.
Yeah, there's the flight plan to Baron. This is good news for LordBobBree, though. You know, LordBobBree felt a little behind taking those wipes at Baron Inn, and also, of course, not picking up that Porum and getting the other gear up on Mount Hobbs. But Rhybon's having to leave and come back. Buys LordBobBree back quite a bit of time here. This is yeah, it's pretty good news for Bob.
And as Project now saying in chat, Rhybon will have a much easier time with these fights, just the extra levels.
Oh, yeah. Chat asking, or just stating, I can't remember the last time I saw Cecil in one of these. Cecil's on break for the brackets flags. Cecil and Fu both make life very easy on our runners. We saw so much crunch, crystal sword action in the group stage. We're making all the top 32 runners have a little harsher time going forward.
Yep. Cecil and Fu just going on a little Lunarian road trip. They're taking the moon out for a spin.
And here we go. Now LordBobBree's going to be taking a swing at these sisters. And again, his gear is a bit worse than Rhybon's was, I think. I'm not even sure if LordBobBree has the Elven Bow. Again, not sure. But you do have a pile of HP on the Sid. Shrugs off that fire too without dying. Although no Zerk on the Porum yet either. And Rhybon getting walloped by the guards. Checking the shop to see if there's something here that can make his life a little easier.
Yeah, Baron Inn has been claiming runners tonight.
I think we've seen more resets from the Baron Inn than we've seen at many end game spots.
I think that's the fourth reset from Baron Inn.
Yeah. Moves the Yang to the back row, though, and did buy those vampires, so gonna stand a slightly better chance here, I think.
I do believe you're correct. I didn't see an Elven Bow in LordBobBree's inventory. Unless I overlooked it, because that hit was fairly good.
Gotcha. But yeah, I think LordBobBree's in good shape to win this fight through attrition, if nothing else. Just having more bodies on the field who can stay standing.
Although, Sid, can we talk about that shot?
I don't know which bow that Sid is equipped with right now. If it's anything less than Archer, you're going to have a rough time. That one was better. Rhybon now throwing the coffin to take down one guard, casting the mute spell manually to make sure the other one cannot pigify or minify. And is going to self-zerk the Porum, taking advantage of that mage weakness even more. Elven Bow doing work here in this overworld. Even landing a charm effect on the guard. Maybe it'll punch itself a little bit.
I'm not sure if it didn't get the charm attack queued up.
Yeah, Porum, too strong, too fast. But that mute spell,
no agility.
Yeah, doing really good work. And Rhybon is through, gonna add that Sid to his team and be in pretty darn good shape having an Ogre Axe to give him.
Now we're gonna see the Ogre Axe doing some work immediately.
Now, if you're Rhybon here, do you go back to Ordeals, or do you think your team now is strong enough to go ahead and head towards Zot?
It's a tough choice. I mean, they're both the K-Vein checks, and one of them's got to be your underground.
Yeah, of course, Zot, definitely the slower and more difficult check. We'll give you two characters at the end of it. You have a Ninja Sword, you have a Gungnir. I'd be curious about it, but Ordeals is definitely the easier option, especially with this Sid on the team now.
So which one would you be going after?
Oh, I think with the Sid now, I feel extremely confident in my ability to take down the Maga Sisters, and I probably would go back to Ordeals just right quick. But I would leave a save at the bottom of the mountain in case everything upstairs is garbage. I would do that.
And there we go, Sid unleashing some Zappy Doom on his sisters.
and of course, now the others will start doing their own thing. Mindy will cast Tier 1 magics, and Sandy, honestly, slightly more annoying here, seeing as how she will start to charm your party members. Frankly, it landing on Porum was probably the best thing that could have happened to BobBree.
Oh no, the white mage is charmed. What will we do?
Let's see here. Rhybon Sid with an Ogre Axe and an Aegis Shield. That's all you need. going full. This reminds me of my last Barbarian I played in D&D. This is great. Axe and Shield, great combo.
We saw Porum try to cast Hold on someone.
But there we go. BobBree is through that Magus Sister fight first. Neck and neck again. Rhybon does have a spare Porum who he's anchoring with. But this is very close. We're going to see both runners heading up Zod at pretty much the exact same time here.
And we see BobBree taking a safety save here. Do not blame him in the slightest.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, to me, it's all based on how much time you spent on the fight. If it was a very, quick and easy 30 seconds, maybe you just run on into the mirror chamber. When it was, a struggle, you take the save. You absolutely take the save.
Now, we do know it can't be Wyvern in here, so it's a small consolation.
And the item?
As Zod it is.
We're going to Zod. All right. And yet another nasty endgame enemy here in a generous spot. Is this going to be like Kaipo Guards, Water Hag, King Queen Evelyn on the moon at this rate? Maybe.
Yeah, Magus Sisters are gone. We can't have surprise Magus Sisters at Ogopogo. Leviathan's still out there. That could show up at Ogopogo. Oh, that one you could at least reflect the ice too. Yeah, all the nasties are gone, or going away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's something we're overlooking that will delight our viewers and pain our runners. But right now, I'm very happy with the things that we've gotten removed, if I'm a runner.
Seeing all this removed early tells me this is going to be all about execution later on, just because all the nasties are gone. It's going to be who can menu faster, who can clear faster, route better. Because all the puzzles are solving themselves.
Yeah. Now, Rhybon here, I'm pretty sure we've seen a little bit of revivification on the Sisters side, so kind of, is this a secret Magus Sisters? No, this is not the kind of grind you want.
And we saw LordBobBree do a little bit of extra Magus Sister grind, getting the 6k XP from this spot.
And here we go. Now the question is, okay, the charm targeted a character who had a wall up. They may both have had wall up already, but the fact that the charm hits no one means this is in the bag for Rhybon. There we go.
Yeah, the good news is there were no, say, Palms knowing Quake in the party who could get charmed.
Always a fun thing. Quake, Meteo, things of that nature. Long katanas for sale in Mysidia. We already have the ninja one. If there's an edge in Zod, it would not surprise me to see another trip back here, just to round out his equips.
I saw Starveils for sale in Mysidia as well.
Yeah.
I think our runners started with 4, so
And LordBobBree didn't have to burn one because he said, no, I'm not fighting that Wyvern. Thank you, I will save my Starveils. So he might not even need to buy any more for the entire seat.
Hey, think about it. You probably need 1 or 2 for Bahamut, 1 for Golbez. Maybe 1 for Rude Leviathan, if depending where it shows up.
Yeah, and sometimes you want 2 for Asura. But you know where they are, and getting back there shouldn't be too big of an issue.
And looking at this routing, LordBobBree's going to go look for the doggo.
On our tracker table, letting me know that BobBree does have a full moon. So as long as you don't mind the slower animation time, it's a little less accuracy than a long blade, but it'll give you bonus damage versus flying enemies, and it enables your edge to sit comfortably in the back row. I love it when the flame dog's in the first chest, by the way.
And every streamer Xenocat pointing out, you might want a few for Zeromus depending on what the endgame party looks like.
True. If you're going for reflect strats.
Not the worst thing the doggo was holding.
No. Silent Staff, a nice little +10 boost to white magic. No arguments with that pickup, and it'll save you from having to buy one later.
And you know that Silent Staff would have been amazing? About 5 minutes ago.
It does do quadruple damage versus mages. Absolutely true. Silent Staff plus a Heroine Robe is a very fun combo sometimes.
There we go. See, it's got some jokes at least.
Yeah. So we know this is the logical way underground, so there's not going to be a Golbez here. There's not going to be a Valvalis here. Who is going to show up here inside?
Hey, Xenocat saying let Porum bonk things. I've turned Porum loose with a Silent Staff and had her bonking for 4,000 or 5,000 damage, so don't discount what quad damage can do.
Never would I ever. Rhybon here, also fishing for the pupper. I think Rhybon still has that Boreas if he wants to one-shot this.
And this makes perfect sense. The pupper had a stick.
BobBree's looking at the man in the mirror. He's begging him to change his ways.
And a little bit of kung fu fighting going on here.
Now, this fight is a good chance for Rhybon to make up a little bit of time once he gets up here. Looks a little behind now, of course, but just having an Ogre Axe Sid is going to do a lot of good for tearing through this, over 8,000 HP at this Maga Sister spot?
Somewhere around there. And I'm, okay, both forms do no Berserk. Yeah, the Ogre Axe is going to work wonders here. Yeah, Tibble point is 9k. Yeah, this spot is 9k everything. HP, XP, GP.
Yeah, this spot and the doll spot are just both in my head as it's some number between 7 and 10. I round. They all get clustered together in groups.
Yeah, I know this spot's 9 because it's 9 everything.
9 everything. I'll be surprised if Rhybon does anything with his second Porum other than knock her back down. Although he may just trust that the kicks will do that on their own. Although she did gain a little XP somewhere along the way. Oh, from the
Probably Flame Dog.
Yeah. Yeah, just passing the turn with her. She probably won't be sticking around much longer, given the two characters at the top of the tower.
Yeah, we can find better anchors up here. We could find Rydia, we could find Tella. Or, hear me out, third and fourth Porum.
Every duplicate of another Porum. And there we go. BobBree's taking care of the Monk Mirror match. Let's see if there's a safety save.
We've learned our lesson for the past week or so tournaments. Save.
I mean, for what it's worth, we know this is our logical way underground, so the big nasties can't be up here. But there are still some unpleasant surprises that could throw a wrench in your plans.
Hey, Stardust Rod Holder.
Yeah, I don't hate adding the Palom here. You know you're going to be underground soon. You have the Stardust Rod, you have the Sorcerer Robe. This kid can do a lot of damage in a hurry with just a little bit of help.
One egg goes straight to Virus.
But meanwhile, there is... Actually, BobBree doesn't have quite the same gear that Rhybon has. Rhybon's going to be thrilled to see this, just because of that Gungnir Spear.
Oh, BobBree didn't find it?
Right, because the Gungnir Spear was in the Mad Ogre trap chest, and BobBree did not actually complete that one.
And we see Kid immediately getting a Stardust Rod.
Oh, yeah. He may not know a lot of spells yet, but even just spamming that'll do a good, 300, 400 damage to everything.
Not very good with magic, but I can wave a rod around. Or do absolutely nothing. That works too.
Yeah, kind of the question here, though, is which of your mages are you going to life up to get the XP? And LordBobBree chooses Palom. Wants to get him a little caught up.
Yes.
Oh! Got them both up.
LordBobBree says, I'm greedy, I want both.
That's very, very fortunate. This is very fast spot. It's really cool that LordBobBree had time to get both life pots up off there before the speech came.
Yeah, why only get one mage up? They both like XP.
And Rhybon does ditch the Porum and the Sid here to add Palom and Kayn. We're going to see that Gungnir get equipped. We're going to see a Stardust Rod get equipped, unless he just intends to use Palom for anchor duty. Then why even bother, of course.
Yeah, no equipping pretty much says what's going on.
Well, even a base level kid, like, okay, we're at least giving him the Stardust Rod before he goes back to anchoring. Okay. And Magma Key.
Oh.
No route this time.
We were all hoping for it. Or maybe like Twin Harp into Hook, that would have been nice.
Twin Harp into Baron Key into Hook, just give everyone a 55-minute hook route.
I see no problem with this.
Ooh. We saw the hesitation deciding which twin to pick up there, and didn't get it off on either one, in fact. Not going to really hurt him, of course. We know that this is the Magma Key. You're not going to be like, oh, I wish I had that XP for the hook route. But it looked like he was going for Palom at the end there.
Huh, that's interesting. I've done quite a bit of racing with Rhybon, and I know he loves his Zerker parties.
Yeah, that's kind of the curious thing here, because you have such great equipment for that Palom, but he's also just a fantastic anchor start to finish with his base 8 agility.
Yeah, we're never gonna need life potions again.
Yeah. And Tibble's saying it looked more like it ended on Kayn. The menuing was so fast there it was hard to tell, but it looked like it was like Palom, Porum, Palom, Porum, but if it was a last-minute flip of Kayn, that makes a lot of sense as well. Even with that Gungnir Spear, Kayn needs levels to start really contributing to this team.
And a nice item, or nice weapon found in this shop from LordBobBree. That's a mute knife.
Ooh.
Now, can you explain why it's such a huge pickup?
Yeah, well, we did already see the Magus Sisters, unfortunately, and the Baron Guards, but there's still, there's still the second phase of elements. There are plenty of enemies in the game that have a mage weakness, and getting quadruple damage on them is real nice. If you already have your quadruple damage, well, it's a great hand-me-down weapon for any black mage who just it is a +5 black magic stat stick. And it's even better for an edge than like a middle blade is. So just great multi-use weapon. Love to have one.
And honestly, we've seen a few races this tournament where one runner having a mute knife and the other one not caused a sizable split when, say, a mage showed up at 65k.
Oh yeah. Like, we've seen so many situations where someone with, like, double katanas on edge versus someone with one good katana and the mute knife, and that edge is just hitting for, 8,000 to 9,000 damage while the other person's hitting for 4,000. And it shaves down that fight time so much. LordBobBree, of course, with the pan for more deals, goes right to the Sylph Cave. Bonks Yang gets a Legend Sword. Forge not an objective, but there are plenty of tier 7 weapons that Kayn would love to have. Dragoon Lance, Avenger, even on the gear side, you can get an Adamant armor from that forge. I wonder if we'll see either runner actually take the time to do that.
Would you forge out of these runners' shoes?
I think it depends on who my Dwarf Castle character is, and if Ninja Blades are already for sale. If Ninja Blades aren't in any of these weapon shops and it's an edge, I think I would forge just to try to pair that Ninja Blade that we got from Baron Inn with a Murasame.
Very good point.
But it also depends, if our Sirens for sale, do we just have other immediate sources of power without having to gamble? I don't know.
Yeah, personally, I would probably forge on Rhybon, with Rhybon's party, not with BobBree's party. The extra hits of Dragoon Lance and Avenger, I think, tip it for me.
Yeah. And BobBree, Sid, regrettably, what's his best hit from the pool? Honestly, probably
Party
Artemis arrows. Yeah, it's... Do see Ninja Blades for sale here in Tamra, so good option to keep in mind, and heroin robes if you want to turn your Porum into a speedster at the cost of her.
LordBobBree saving and camping out down here. I think he's thinking about taking on one of these bosses.
Well, there's also the fact that BobBree already walked through Sylph Cave, so even if he doesn't, you'd want to heal anyway before you tackled anything else. Very few spots give you very few remaining spots give you a full heal before the fight.
And I think we're down to Twin Harp that does that.
So heading into the library, you got any of those freebies, Feymarch?
It's an Odin and a something.
Yeah, that's either Ruby or Elements. We do have a Thunderclaw here.
Yeah, the problem is surviving.
Yeah. That's all 3 hits already. This is one of those situations where, yeah, that's where you just cast exit.
Yeah, discretion, better part of valor. We'll come back to that later.
It is nice to know that's Odin there. This is a team with your Thunderclaw Yang you will eventually be able to take care of without too many problems. So it's great to know it's there. You just need a few more levels and it'll be a cakewalk.
Oh, we do see a forge coming out.
It's a bit of a gamble. I mean, you can always just get, what... You could just get a... Well, I could say Excal, but you can at least sell those for good cash on this scene. I'm trying to think of what the worst hit here would be.
I mean, that's still money.
Yeah, that's big cash, and you did open the shop. Can't throw it like you can Excals, of course, but... 31,750.
That's a Kane out of 10 shop.
Yeah, both the defense and the White Lance. Artemis Bow, again, if we had the arrows, Artemis Sid would honestly be pretty delightful, but nothing there I think you really want to buy right now.
No, ribbons, while nice, not worth spending the money on until quarter, I don't think.
Yep. BobBree here going to fly to Sheila, get 2 K-main rewards here.
And look, what else was in that shop? What was the other item? It was
ribbons.
Oh, Artie Bow.
Yeah. Oh, Artie Bow. Yeah.
And Artie Bow again. That's too expensive for both our runners' blood, I think.
Yeah. Should I point out a ribbon would be handy for Golbez. It does prevent insta-death. That Dark Dragon can just break its teeth on you over and over, but it is a bit pricey. A hook and a Luca key. You like either of those?
I like the fact that it gets me closer to 10.
If you're still not happy with your team, Hook does give you another character check. It gives you another gated shop check too. We didn't see Sirens Underground. I don't think... Did we see Bacchus one? I don't think we did.
We did.
We did?
Rhybon bought some.
Oh, was that in Dwarf Castle and BobBree just didn't go there yet?
I think so.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, not seeing Sirens yet. The gated shop here guaranteeing 2 tier 5 items. It's too tempting to pass up.
Oh yeah.
Get some sirens, crack some eggs, get the kid to at least quake. So where'd that curse ring in Rhybon's inventory come from? Was that dwarf as well?
I am honestly not certain. Maybe chat can tell us where.
It was dwarf.
Was dwarf. Excellent.
I know
So
I
that
saw
solves-
Rhybon doing. Yeah, I know I saw him doing some shopping.
Yeah, that solves your anchoring issues. You can now let your Palam and Porum get all the levels in the world, and you're still very content on the anchor front.
Yeah, even a level 52 pal makes a great anchor because his agility growth is no.
Oh yeah, and even a cursed nuke is a strong nuke in this game.
Especially with the Stardust Rod offsetting the 15 loss.
And just as chat suggested, we did see a Rhybon pickup from Rhybon there. Sold a whole lot of stuff to afford it.
I think LordBobBree just needs money right now.
Yeah, see him opening these chests. This team probably doesn't have any trouble fighting the Stillman, so it's not like you're worried about taking a big reset.
No, but if you need some money, just open the chest on the way. If you hit the Stillman, so be it.
Well, it looks like he decided to cut his losses past that second or third screen transition, and that is a Rosa. We've already
Nice.
done Thought. We have the exit spell for her. Do you swap your Porum for her at this point?
It's 48 minutes in. I've done one objective. Still have 2 lunar altars on the table. I probably would. How about you?
I think I would, especially since BobBree did just buy Sirens, and Rosa's level curve and spell learning curve is so much better. I think, yeah, his Porum's only level 23. 2 Sirens and you're bada bing, bada boom, you're in there.
That's a bigger thing. I'm still pre-grind.
Yeah.
If I'd already cracked, say, 3 or 4 eggs, not a chance. Oh, Vanilla Staleman.
Rhybon, you can sell the spare Stardust Rod. You like Zerkers? There's no way you're getting a second Black Mage. Come on.
Yeah, LordBobBree now knows he's free to just clear it, to loot everything.
Oh yeah, if you want the cash, good chance to do it. Hey, Gaia Hat. Hat.
Hat.
Hat.
Unfortunately, our Gaia Hat racer is in the other race going on right now.
And also, unfortunately, BobBree hitting the inventory boss. Gonna need to make a little space here if you want to keep looting for stuff that sells better.
Yeah, at this point, you may just stop looting because inventory boss is a real thing.
We'll did make a few slots here. Probably enough to finish off these 5, and then we'll... A base level Rosa, knowing exit. You'd love to see it. Now, does Rhybon make the same trade? Sat through the cutscene that kind of suggests you're down to do it, right?
Yep. There's no other reason to sit through that cutscene unless you're taking the character. I don't believe Launch Falcon's the objective.
So kind of cute, both runners, 50 minutes into a seed, swapping the White Mage out. You don't always see that. I think it's absolutely the right call here. Just Rosa has so much better upside in the long run. But it's still fairly uncommon on these races, I think.
Agreed. Like I said, we are still pre-grind.
But speaking of grinding, you do want to get your White Mage up to snuff. Both runners heading for the Peninsula of Power. Gonna burn those Sirens to summon Yellow Dragon Eggs and get these cursory levels.
First one's always the slowest. After this, the kid will have Quake, which makes these eggs a little bit faster.
And we do see the Hourglass going out, kind of, so 4,000 for the Siren, 6,000 for the Hourglass, worth every penny.
It's an expensive egg. You know how rare dragon eggs are?
They are apparently only found 1 out of every 64 encounters, so they're that rare.
Yeah, I guess that is a rarity of the rarest encounter.
Yeah, now Rhybon's found not quite to Quake, did get Virus here.
Right, Rhybon's a single siren leaves you just short of Quake.
Yeah. But, ooh, his team basically quadrupling their HP from that one go. Gonna see the other Hourglass coming out as well. LordBobBree is done. Rhybon here going a little further here.
Right, LordBobBree had gotten some XP on the Palom, so 1 egg was enough for Quake.
Yeah. But now, Rhybon did buy 7 Sirens. We're not at 10 key items just yet. But I wonder how far he's going to take this, because, of course, if you're going to go down to Sealed Cave, you would like to have Warp on Palom. That's level 29. Rosa getting Cure 3 is immensely good for keeping your team going. And given again, you've mentioned Rhybon's preference for Zerker-based teams. That means you don't really have to go all the way to Nuke. You don't really have to wait till you have 10 key items. Just getting the power on these Zerkers now may be the better solution.
I would agree. I expect to see Rhybon take take a few more of those. Just as you mentioned earlier in this race, Yang likes levels. He gets 2 attack for every level, so putting 3 levels of him will make the upcoming fights faster.
Tent here, I believe, is just to restore Palom's MP. I think the kid was bottomed out there.
Yeah, the kid ran out of gas.
LordBobBree, meanwhile, showing us there is a Lunar Sparkle at the first fight of Dwarf Castle. It's not Ogo. It's not D-Lunars. It's not Wyvern.
So we're down to Plague or someone. Pildim.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't exist. Plague or Plague.
Plague or Plague? Oh, well, good news. It's Plague.
I refuse to acknowledge existence of that other boss.
Plague, of course, going to open up with a full group Doom counter. Few ways to deal with this. You can do agility shenanigans to make the timer never run out. You can you can kill a character and revive them to reset it. You can reflect the Doom onto Plague as well. Or if you have enough DPS, you can just take it down. It is weak to air-based attacks, bows, and spears.
Interesting. Now we're gonna see the Sid get zerked up. Now since we're less in immediate danger.
Yeah, we have a reset coming, and it's very easy to knock that Palom back down if need merits it.
Rhybon has taken 6 of those 7 sirens while we've been doing this.
Yeah, Rhybon's team is going to have a very nice time here. Just little bits of divergent looting have come in really handy here. Like Rhybon purposely not going to Evelyn until he knew he could take down at least a trap chest meant that he was able to pull that Gungnir out. That makes this Kayn a lot stronger than LordBobBree's Sid. And of course, LordBobBree not doing Hobbs means he missed out on that Ogre Axe, which would also be fantastic on this Sid.
Oh, the timer ran out on 2 characters.
And down to 4 life potions, but we're through the first fight. Yang has a huge HP full for fight number 2. I did not pay attention when we turned in that Earth Crystal. Who's the boss in here?
We'll find out in a second.
Okay.
It's Leviathan.
Leviathan, okay. Spell power here is really weak. We do have a Thunderclaw. I think LordBobBree's going to be fine. Ooh, and we have a little bit of gear for that edge, don't we?
Yeah, that edge has some toys. Hey, there's a Trunk Claw.
You know, Yang got the good start, Edge got the trash one. All things balanced.
Edge was just holding it for Yang.
I like what Rhybon's doing here. Fading Dwarf, going ahead and chasing that Luca key. You do get to see this item before you decide if you're going to take the boss. And more relevantly, the other reason I really like this play is Rhybon found that curse string.
Right.
Super speedy spot here. If you think maybe your opponent missed the curse string, this can give you a huge leg up in a race.
That it can, and I really like this check. It's a little over a minute to get down. You know if it's complete garbage before you even fight the boss. Of course, if it's something like, Tower Key, Rat Tail, Baron Key, you still gotta walk it out even if it's not an objective.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Baron Key is, but...
Well, yeah. But yeah, that's always the dilemma, right? You find an item that opens another item, and then you go do that, and you get a Drain Spear. Yeah, and Dwarf Castle may be a slow check, but getting that edge is pretty huge. Getting that Sand Ruby, not so huge. Light it up, light it off. We are not keeping that.
Nope. I don't care what that's not worth walking out.
It would put Rhybon at 9 key items. You'd know the Darkness Crystal would give you 10. No, you're not walking that out.
Now, I would have been tempted to at least peek the boss before resetting.
In case it were a freebie.
Or so you know which boss is out of the pool.
Yep. And package here, also not required. Both these little dueling spots, giving key items that give you characters, but not objectives tonight. Now, if you're Rhybon, and you've done all that grinding already, are you, and again, we mentioned Rhybon loves Zerkers, are you going to swap Palom for Edge here? Or do you keep Palom because you know that is a red robe down at the King spot in Feymarch?
Kane's out, Edge is in.
You think he's ditching the Kane with a Gungnir?
For a Ninja Long Edge, I would. How about you?
I don't know. Val is still out there somewhere.
That's true.
And although, if you ditch Kane, you can then just throw the Gungnir, I suppose, but... Yeah, I think it depends on... we do know Bacchus Wine is for sale here. That motivates swapping the Palom out, but at the same time, if that is either Ruby or Elements, either one at the King, we know it's one of the two. I really like having a Palom with the tier 3 spells for that fight.
That's a very good point.
Maybe you just go do those 2 fights. And Lightning 3 is great for the Odin fight, right? And this Palom has all tier 3 spells. Am I wrong?
I think all the way there.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
so...
just ditching the Edge.
I like this for a different reason, and that's that it minimizes your menuing, right? You have your Yang for hitting your claw weaknesses, and you don't have to do all this re-equipping. It simplifies a lot for you going forward.
A very good point. There's a lot of choices here, and they're all very defensible.
Oh, yeah. But I think knowing specifically who's at Feymarch, I would have, if anything, I would take Palom to Feymarch, take care of those 2 fights, and then swap out for the Edge in the long run, if I still had the weaponry.
I do see LordBobBree giving us a Twin Harp check. We all love our music here.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We're an hour in. We've only completed 1 objective. No tower key to be seen. Not quite ready to fight that Odin at the Sura spot. And all the other stuff still gated. It's a K main check. Let's do it.
Hey, well, this is one of the things we randomize in this game. Our tracker, our restreamer Xenocat, has been doing a lot of work adding songs to the pool that Edward will decide to play to break the Dark Elf spell.
Yeah, what is the count up to, by the way, while we're waiting Spoony B to start playing?
400-ish, I think.
Wow. All right. Oh, and there we did see the Full Moon and the Ninja Sword both get sold to buy a 10-pack of Bacchus Wine. Rhybon is committed to the party. Speaking of party, enjoy these kicking tunes.
Hey, not gonna lie, I didn't recognize that one.
Yeah, me neither. And just a lightsaber here for his trouble. Huge zonk for LordBobBree.
That's a feels bad moment. Going through that check and walking away with, well, 3 sirens, we'll call it.
Meanwhile, Rhybon rearranging the team, giving wine to a Thunderclaw Yang with nearly 3,000 HP. Odin is in trouble.
Yeah, quad damage. Wonderful thing.
And only 23,000 to chew through here. Yeah, one more hit and this is done. And having chased the objective number 3, Rhybon is also rewarded with...
Objective number 7.
That's... You know, we do like to, you know, the classic conventional wisdom is chase your freebies, chase your objectives. And although with these levels, Twin Harp was undoubtedly free, the objective here is the reward that really paid off. Rhybon not even saving for going into this Elements fight. I love it.
And the good news for both of our runners is that will be key item number 10, so they'll be getting double experience the rest of the way.
And we are going to see another cool little strat here. You know, you may remember from your childhood the elements having 4 forms, rotating, you know, from Mylon to Ruby to Kinatsu to Val. This is actually only 2 monsters, but also reflected spells do not activate reaction scripts. So a Fire 3 bounced off will take down most of the first batch of HP, and then one more, either direct or reflected, will finish off this half as well, and you won't even see the other forms.
That's cute. The Cure 4 heals the party, and the reflected one still damages.
Beautifully executed.
I think that one could have been direct cast, thanks to the Cure 4 damage.
I'm pretty sure it could have as well. There's the base HP at this spot is 35,000. Combined, the elements HP will be a little more than that, but I still think 20,000 is enough to kill this phase.
We don't got time to sit through all 4 phases. We got places to go, moons to visit.
So Rhybon, you know, we mentioned his love of the Zerker, but Palom doing so much work and getting a pass for it as well. The only thing that makes me sad about that is it reduces the chances of a swag walk to Zeromus.
That's very true. So we're down to Baron Castle, Baron Basement, and top of Tower for moon access.
Yep, we still have to find a tower key and a pink tail somewhere out there as well. But I think we're going to see Rhybon go directly to Baron, continue to chase those objectives, and hopefully find one of your others while you're here. It is both a K main and a K summon check.
And we see a sword raised on LordBobBree's side. If this Anti-Tukun goes off, it's going to hurt.
Asura spot, massive spell power.
Yeah, you're not surviving that one.
I mean, Yang would be able to eventually. That did what? 3,600-ish damage? His HP does get that big, but it's definitely not there yet.
I think LordBobBree says, I'm at 9 key items, I want to get one more before I take a grind.
Hey, no argument with that. But we definitely want to get this edge zerking in a hurry. Odin being surprisingly generous, getting both hits on Rosa there. She's actually contributing the least damage this fight, so. But the third one going to edge might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, third one would probably have been best going probably to the kid. He's doing his second least contribution, and honestly, he probably survived it.
We do see a reset there from LordBobBree. The other thing that would immensely help here would actually be that curse string. Agility manipulation so huge in this game, and it let Rhybon go off to the races against that Odin in the exact order he wanted to.
I saw LordBobBree doing some shopping in Dwarf. I don't think he peaked the armor shop.
I think Tybalt told us that it was one of the 3 pots between the 2.
Oh, it was in a pot. It wasn't the shop.
Yeah. I love checking those 3. It's a whole lot. I mean, it's so quick to check those 3 if you're walking from the item shop over to the weapon shop through that lower floor. And big payoff for Rhybon tonight there.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly like hitting those 2 because you're right on the way. Just take like 2 steps up and boom, 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 3 checks.
I wonder if at some point someone, hey, freebie here. That's 1 fewer for the moon. I wonder if at some point a player, I know once upon a time, Rivers did like an overall analysis of number of chests per zone and like number of steps to get them, but I don't think anyone's done it literally on a per chest basis. And I wonder, like, you do the ratio of the loot tiering to number of steps to get the chest if it's off your path, and figuring out the optimum, like 40 chests to open in a given scene.
That sounds like math.
Yeah.
We don't do that around here.
It's more spreadsheets than math. Can we do spreadsheets? Are spreadsheets okay?
We do flowcharts. Does that count?
Speak to me not of flowcharts. BobBree here. Looking to, I mean, at this point for BobBree, this is his only option. He has the Luca key. You can either go Sealed Cave, or you can come up here if you're not quite ready for those Fate March fights. And a vanilla tower key would be the best thing to happen to him.
Yeah, Rhybon just tearing through these fights, showing us the power of taking an early grind like that, committing to just even 7 sirens, the extra levels, extra HP.
But just a power shirt to go along with this objective. We'll probably see a quick peek into the basement, although we've already seen 3 key items from the summon pool. Well, pass, not a key item, is a key item. Don't worry about it. But Baron Key, Pass, and Legend Sword, all from the summon pool already. Are we about to go 4 for 4?
We could, and that means that the moon might be fairly well haunted key item-wise. I believe summon and moon spots get thrown together into one pool.
Oh, and yeah, Chad, I was not seeking to besmirch the good name of the power shirt. It's just, it's not quite what we're looking for right now.
Oh.
Also, you.
LordBobBree goes to the top of the tower and finds a comedian.
This is actually really gross. This is one of my least favorite spots for Golbez. He has a ton of HP relative to the level of the spot, and has basically no spell power. So if you're hoping he does the job of reflecting spells to kill himself, you're gonna be disappointed.
And this, honestly, one of the grossest spots to find Golbez, because it's gonna take forever.
Yeah, it's funny that any boss who has reflectable spells, you kind of hope to find them in a really high spell power spot, just because they're gonna do half your job for you. Golbez ain't gonna be helpful here.
Yeah, bosses like Golbez, Leviathan, there anyone else whose reflectable spells we care about?
Yeah, mostly those two. That is the Darkness Crystal. Rhybon has a pass, has a Darkness Crystal, has 2 altars can target on the moon, but still needs a Tower Key and a Pinktail. If LordBobBree finds like a Tower Key into Pinktail here, that would be absolutely brilliant for him. But Rhybon here, just off to the races.
And that's pretty much exactly what LordBobBree needs to find. His outs are starting to run thin.
Yeah, Rhybon being able to clear that Fey March and finding so much value in it was just huge, just huge.
And we see right there, Lit 3 doing 600. I believe that's 2 rolls.
So let's say you're Rhybon here, Dave. Let's say you go up to the moon, you take care of these 2 altars, and you find a rat tail. What is your plan for the rest of the moon in that situation?
Just a rat tail?
Yeah, not even the pink tail, not the Tower Key yet. When do you decide to cut and run back to the blue planet?
What do we got left? Tower Key, pink... 2 key items. I think any 2 key items. Well, rat tail and one of the 2 objectives. Or both objectives, obviously. Maybe.
Oh yeah, like
maybe
just
on
find
Tower.
everything.
Maybe on Tower Key. How about you? When would you leave the moon?
I think I do the full array of the ones at the bottom, just like our tracker Tybalt's saying in chat. Do the 2 required, finish off the bottom. You never have to come back, and then I think I at least come back. Like if I had the rat tail, but neither of the others, I think I'd come back to the blue planet and just see if that rat tail holds all the remaining solutions.
Yeah, we see Golbez getting the best of LordBobBree there. That while it's still 2 rolls, a 2-roll Lit 3 still hits for 600 damage.
Yeah, and the other problem too, again, is the anchoring, right? If you're at relative agility 1 on all your team, and you pop your Starveil, you pop your Bacchuswine, those Starveils are, if you have 2 Zerkers, I don't think those Starveils ever drop off for your team. But LordBobBree has a leveled up Palom, the ATB is just not cooperating, that Starveil drops off pretty quickly, and then zap, you got some problems.
Which is also part of why this Golbez is so gross here.
Yeah, but what's he doing with all these pigs on the team? What's going on here?
We're having a pig roast, didn't you know?
Yeah, first you have to give your pig a virus, and then you have to burn it a little bit, and then you electrocute it, and boom. That is how you make classic Lunarian pulled pork barbecue. It's delicious.
No, that's not what's going on here. It's because of Final Fantasy IV uses a status priority system where anyone who's in piggy status cannot be afflicted by hold gases paralysis.
It's true. You ever try to hold on to a pig that doesn't want to be held? It's not going to work. It's going to break brain.
It's a lot of squealing, and if the pig is greased up, it's even worse.
Oh, dang, this party's slipperier than a greased up pig, y'all. But as you see, neither one got paralyzed. Both able to go ahead and start either zerking or getting your Starveils up. You don't have to wait on Golbez to heal you, and LordBobBree's looking in a little better shape this time.
Yeah, getting the pigs up. The only problem is, again, with status priority, piggies can't be berserked. At least I don't think they can.
No, you're right. A pig will only be zerked if you can flip to an Avenger. Both the Berserk spell and the Bacchuswine will whiff.
Because Final Fantasy IV is a fantastically coded game.
I mean, for the amount of work they did, quickly changing this from a Famicom to a Super Famicom game, it's a pretty darn good job.
And getting the whole thing to fit in a 2 megabyte cartridge.
Yeah. It's just, you give us, the 100 monkeys of the free enterprise racing community, 100 Super Nintendo consoles, and we will either break the game wide open or make a Or, compose the assorted works of Shakespeare. Either one.
I'm going with the first one.
Also, kind of a gross Valvalis at this spot, but Rhybon has the levels, has the gear, has the blink spell. It'll take a while to chew through the HP, but I don't think he's going to be in trouble here.
Just get blinks rolling on everyone. The kid just stands there looking good, because this spot is perfect magic defense.
Yeah, you could let the kid contribute if you wanted to jump, but then you're taking more punches. As it is, Val will, in this form, cast Weak, cast Ray, and she'll take a break, and she'll do one punch, cast Weak, cast Ray. So she's only actually doing proper damage once every 4 turns or so. So it's not that dangerous, but it will be slow, and it will be annoying.
Yep, as long as you got some blinks out, Val simply cannot kill you.
But meanwhile, LordBobBree has gotten through that Golbez fight. Good news for him. We need a big reward here.
That's the opposite of good news.
Yeah, that may portend a small bit of disaster here. Gonna keep the XP. Gonna keep that as a dartable. But BobBree now has either Feymarch or Sealed Cave as far as his options are.
And that means we in the booth know that that the remaining value is all from the moon.
Absolutely. Rhybon didn't do the keyless tower check, and he's in better shape for it.
And I have to imagine LordBobBree is in a slight bit of a panic after seeing that.
Rando is gonna rando, and it's amazing the difference that just a small piece of loot and a couple levels can make.
And if I'm in LordBobBree's shoes, I am sweating bullets after seeing that white spear.
I mean, for what it's worth, the early game was pretty rough. We had some misfortune in Baron Inn, but it's entirely possible that your opponent had similar concerns and barriers. But you do still have to worry after hitting both the whammies especially in Cave Magnus and then at top of tower as well.
Okay, LordBobBree going to fix his anchoring situation by grabbing just getting the white spear for Kane.
Looking to get slightly better equipped character. Now, the other good thing I think for BobBree here is that means he's probably going to grind more, and I think a few more levels will make this Feymarch much more doable for him.
Right, it's going to be easier if Odin's not one-shotting your characters.
Rhybon, meanwhile, I did not even see what he got for that fight. Help me out, chat.
Defense Sword Arnie Bow, I think?
Okay, so no key items, but did get 200,000 XP. And Defense Sword, an upgrade for that Kane over the Gungnir Spear as well.
Yes, it is. It's arguably Kane's best weapon.
Yeah, the accuracy bonus on it. Characters in Final Fantasy IV get a percentage of accuracy per 4 levels. They get a bonus in the middle slot. Otherwise, it's based on the weapon. And Defense Sword, much more accurate than Kane's best spears.
That's a reasonably punchy boss in the Octomam spot. As in all it does is punch.
But luckily, though, once we chop a few of these tentacles off, it will not be punching nearly so quickly.
Something tells me we're not chopping them all off tonight.
Yeah, with how much damage this Thunderclaw Yang is doing, it'll be a little tricky to hit it 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus... What is it, 15 times to get it down to 1 tentacle?
Yes.
Sorry, I was doing math again. I'm not supposed to do that.
You were correct. So we saw LordBobBree ditch the Yang for Kane.
I mean, Edge can equip a Thunderclaw. But at this point, the bigger problem is this Palom is gaining levels and gaining agility. He's not a speedy character, but it's enough to make these Feymarch fights a lot harder.
The other problem with that is, if you don't let him gain levels, these eggs are going to take forever.
Pretty gross catch-22 there.
You almost have to let him gain levels and then try to figure out just throwing extra levels at the whole thing.
Rhybon, meanwhile, lights up number 4 and gets apple.
The old gapples. Yes, I would like to have one gapple.
Yeah, just one gapple as a treat. So no actual key item value in these two spots. We got more moon to cover.
And this kind of makes sense. We've already seen, I think, moon and summon get pulled together, and we've already seen 4 pulls from that.
That's true. Every K summon spot we hit had an item that is part of the key item pool. That's a rare bird right there.
Sorry, you mentioned rare birds. I just thought of Shining Force 2.
I believe that was released on the wasn't that released on the Switch store online this past week?
Maybe. I don't have that.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're on limit break. We got to hype up all the RPGs, right?
That's true. Every time you'd sell a unique item, the shopkeeper would say, "That's a rare bird."
Oh.
And then you also have the Phoenix in your party, which made it kind of amusing too.
LordBobBree here, gonna walk on down the Sild Cave. We know the item here isn't the big value. It will put him at 10 though, which may motivate a further grind. So we might actually get to see who the boss is this time.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting choice from LordBobBree. Given the situation, walking it out is a defensible play if you want to take a deeper grind. And we see Rhybon taking on the Mylon and friends, just quaking away the friends and punching Mylon. Most bosses in this game are vulnerable just getting punched repeatedly. All of them are vulnerable, just some of them have thoughts about it when you punch them. LordBobBree about to see the bad news. It's just Sand Ruby down here. And we'll see what he does. And besides, even those 10 key items, still not worth it. Meanwhile, Rhybon over here finds the rat tail. And decision time. Do you bail on just that? Save scum it, hope it's exactly tower key into pink tail? That's just a warp, so the answer is going to be no from Rhybon. Honestly, like I said before when asked, I agree with this. At the very least, you gotta check. At the very least, you gotta check Crystal Sword while you're down here.
Oh yeah, you don't want to rewalk this part. Like you're just gonna be miserable if you turn in the rat tail, you get the tower key, and it turns out pink tails at this altar. You're gonna be crying in your boots.
Now, if tower pink shakes out of here, I think we see Rhybon and leave the moon.
Yeah, leave a save on the surface and see what the rat tail gives at minimum. Or if you're just feeling confident, if you feel like aside from that first little bit of ordeals, I've just destroyed everything in my path, maybe you do decide to finish off the moon. But hitting 6 key items in the moon and summon pools would make me start to worry.
Yeah, because 6 to 7 is about where the average, or 7, if at 7 you're already above the average you're going to find, or well above it.
Yeah.
I think on average it's only 7 spots that even get into the pool.
Let's see here. I have an old chart here by Twisted Flax. At the start of a given seed, the specific chance of 7 key items being, I'll say 7 or more even, 7 or more being in the moon and summon pool is 8.4%.
Yeah, hitting number 6, I think you leave because the odds are very good. It's everything behind the rat tail.
Rhybon up to Meteo on Palm. Still no nuke quite yet, but has finished off the LST, the bottom part of it. 2 spots left on the moon. That's a tower key.
Yeah.
Now the temptation is real. Do you run this on out and leave the other 2 moon spots hanging?
I do in a heartbeat. How about you?
Yeah, I think I've hit the critical mass where I'm I would drop the save here, and I would go. But not dropping the save. Not dropping the save. Okay.
Now, if you plan on doing Super Cannon, it's an objective, so that's fine.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You'd have to fly back anyway. I think I would be tempted if the rat tail came up Bupkis to reset back. But yeah, y'all are correct. If you're gonna do Tower Key 100% of the time.
And Rhybon might be thinking the same thing. This is 2K main checks versus a Moon and a Summon, and I've been flooded with Moon and Summon hits.
Of course, we do know that if he does Golbez, he will be wasting his time. White Lance, I don't think is a meaningful upgrade over that defense sword for the amount of time it takes. Well, that's a spicy meatball.
So about that edge.
You already sold your Ninja Blade. That's just more wine if you want it. Don't even think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about what could have been. This does mean he probably is going to do that Golbez fight, though.
Probably yes. We see on LordBobBree's side, the element's going much easier. We got some blinks out. We got some Zerkers going. We're through the punchy spot, the punchy part.
Still not doing a whole lot of damage with the Zerkers, though.
I don't think it matters. Do you see what just got queued up?
Yeah, if this Ice 3 hits before Elements transforms into Turtle, BobBree ought to be all set here. It should do quad 9.
It should fire after this swing. Or I guess after the fire 3 it should fire.
Whew. Palom surviving by a thread. Ice 3 goes off. Nicely done, BobBree. Well played. But we know this is just the pass, and all roads lead through that Odin spot.
And now BobBree knows that.
We see the rare kick from Yang. Still not quite enough to kill the CPU in one hit, even though it's a combined 600 HP here.
And the kick did twice the spot's total HP combined. Problem is, almost all the HP is in one of them.
Yeah. Now, the really Galaxy Brain play here would be for Rhybon just to leave right now and not go upstairs. Like, and I dare say there's even that temptation when you see that Golbez just to go, oh, I'm good.
Rhybon wants to leave no stone unturned here. We'll see if the extra levels help get through this out. Odin's got thoughts about that.
Being very rude indeed. Although Edge still standing, the dream is still alive.
I think Edge gets there. Don't take any more actions. Just let Edge swing.
Ooh, a jump from Kane maybe goes off in time to preserve the life a little longer. If this Kane landing gets it, this will be... Oh, not quite.
Interestingly, raising the Kane there may have caused the wipe.
BobBree going to do a little bit of shopping here, see if there's some way to bump the defense on this team to deal with those first few hits a little better. And Rhybon makes it through the Shadow Dragon phase with 3 characters standing, the power of having purchased a ribbon earlier.
And Shadow must decide to crunch on that ribbon twice. Broke a Fang the first time. And I'll show you. Chopped again.
But of course, at these levels, Rhybon far less worried about reflecting anything. Just wants that DPS, gets the wine going, gets the Fire 3 queued up.
And we see Kane go down again. He's assuming the standard Dragoon position.
Trying to get him back up in a hurry, though. Rhybon sees... Okay. Like, wait. When did Rhybon...
Yeah.
Okay. Did save after the tower room. Resets out of the Whitelands.
Yeah, I was expecting to see, the last save was 20 minutes ago, and...
I knew he had saved in the tower. I just wasn't sure if he'd done after the tower room. Meanwhile, BobBree is through. Gets that Baron key, opening up the rest of the seed. Whew.
Getting
Made
through
it.
the Onus fight, great job, LordBobBree, getting through that, and... we'll probably crack a few more eggs with 10 key items.
That spot is so hard to manage if you don't have the right agility on your team. So, huge shoutouts to getting through that. What a difference a cursed ring makes, though. Holy cow.
Agreed.
So, Rhybon now going to see if leaving the moon gives everything, or if there is yet another item in the main and summon pool.
I mean, if this... there is another item up there.
Well, actually, I guess we could have done process of elimination.
We do
Spoon and Pinktail left. We knew one is left in that pool. So...
7 key items between Summon and Moon. That's impressive.
So is it going to go 5 for 5 in the summon pool? Are we going to go to Cave Bahamut first?
At this point, I'm cheering for it just because it'll be funny.
Yeah, just to have 5 for 5. That would be absolutely ludicrous. But, why move your well from where you parked it, right?
That's true.
Well, there was no save there.
I think Rhybon's confident in his power, and pretty much every root boss is gone now.
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to go through in my head. Is there literally anything left that's really punishing? And my main answer
gone.
Is the alt gauntlet.
True. Val's gone, Vigen's gone, Golbez is gone, Wyvern's gone. Yeah, alt gauntlet's about it.
He has one more hourglass left that he spent the farm on in the Fame Arch when he was last there. So worst case scenario, if things get really bad, you freeze the enemy, you take the time to life the team up, heal the team up, and you're still good to go. But if it's just a vanilla Peldim, well...
What? I don't see a boss here.
No. The actual worst thing that could happen for Rhybon here would be this to be garbage, and then him to just reflexively hit the reset button. And have to walk down the tower a second time.
That, again, been there, done that.
BobBree takes care of the Lugae fight without issue. Gonna find the King and Queen of Eblan occupying the throne.
Yep. We see the king, just dramatically take off the fake robe, like, aha, I was a king all along.
I dyed my hair. What do you think? It's the hot new look for this season.
And got a full body makeover too.
Dr. Lugae made it for me.
Very realistic, isn't it?
I didn't want to go to the gym, so I just got moved into a new monster body instead.
Yeah, I saw the routine Rhybon's got planned, and nah, wanted nothing to do with that.
So there we go. Rhybon takes down Peldim, gets just in time to get Nuke on Palom. And that is go mode. That's the pink tail. Saw every key item this game. Reset out of the Sand Ruby, but still saw everyone. Just got to the what many people consider the ideal level for that mage for Zeromus. And that means, yeah, okay. Whatever's in Cave Bahamut, we're not gonna see. Maybe it's an alt gauntlet.
Maybe it's Water Hag.
Ah, the dichotomy of the blue robe. BobBree, meanwhile, lights up number 7, gets the power shirt, still has only one place to go, and that's to the basement.
We're just keep Rhybon, wander on over, get the adamant armor. Who do you think he throws the adamant on?
Whoever he does not already have the power shirt on. I don't know which one of his characters wearing the power shirt, but I don't think you bother to flip 2 pieces of gear around when you could only flip 1.
Good answer.
I mean, there's probably a true optimization of which one gets you the most damage out of it, but I would just... Who's not wearing one already? Boom, here you go.
The answer for me sometimes is, whose menu did I open first?
That's also an option.
Because the odds of you remember who's got the power shirt at this point is about 0.
I think it's a little easier to remember when you're the one playing than just watching. Oh yeah, Yang not even wearing armor. Boom. Been with a start to finish, the hero of the seed. Giving the monk his due.
Yeah. Turns out, when you get rid of all the broken stuff, Yang's pretty good.
What do you mean get rid of it? There's an adamant armor right there.
More of the broken characters.
Gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, so opening the pass door, getting the spells sorted on Rosa and Palom, looking to be doing hybrid strats here. We got the big hitters, we got the big spellcasters. I think that leaves only one important question for us to ask tonight.
Yep, and that question is, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
What's the sprite count out? Someone
500.
Oh, God.
520, 530, 500 a lot.
I'm just looking forward to the day. I think that with the tear our restreamer Xenocat's been on, maybe Twin Harps will surpass Sea Sprites this year. How wild would that be?
And Xenocat did say that they've got another 25 waiting to be added.
This is my secret plan to get Xenocat and Scalakitty into competition with one another, just so that the pools both grow to absurd quantities.
That would be fantastic.
And Crystal is queued up. Wine is going off on the Zerkers. Let's find out who this Zeromus really is. I don't know this person. Do you know this person?
Who is this Zeromus? Zeromus has a big sword, I know that.
N. Angel Omus. Well, either way, cool sword, cool armor, got a cape. Devil May Cry 1. Thanks, Chad.
Chat's smart. They know what these things are.
And we see a very cute thing there. Rhybon was holding the action on Rosa to see if Palom survived first. Because you don't want to do a Cure 4 on a dead character. It's not going to do you any good.
And we know that Nuke can hit up 2400 damage, so no way guaranteed Palom survives that.
Yeah. But of course, the first Big Bang was nerfed. It won't do more than 1200. Doesn't even look like it broke 900 on anyone. And we have our two Zerkers. We have Nuke and White, both being reflected off of a walled up Rosa. This is a lot of damage output per round for Rhybon.
Yes, it is. I don't think we see second Big Bang. And if we do, Yang doesn't care. He's got enough HP to simply shrug it off. We see LordBobBree starting to descend the LST. Will probably take the same route Rhybon did, seeing the two objectives all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, and LordBobBree just ran into some rough luck this seed. Had a slight advantage on Ordeals thanks to his willingness to push through Baron in. But Rhybon, the combo of both that Curse Ring, just a little more grinding. Not a huge grind, just enough to get, a little bit of extra power on this team made such a huge difference. Was able to take down everything in Feymarch so early, and of course, completely ignored Twin Harp tonight. And just that small little difference made him undefeated. Like I don't think he's not losing this fight. He's still undefeated, right there with Possum Morpheus. Just so well played all turning long. Oh, and that would be GG's. That is a crumble.
Yep.
No rocks today.
We just barely saw second Big Bang.
Yeah, just that is ridiculous. Anyone going undefeated with this player pool is so good on such a hot streak. Can't wait to see what happens in the round of 8. We'll see if Rhybon wants to join us for an interview soon.
Hello.
That's pretty soon. Rhybon, GG's.
Hi, thank you.
Well, just as we mentioned, you're still undefeated in the tournament. How are you feeling at this point in the Adamant Cup?
I'm feeling like I've accomplished what I wanted to. Back in ZD4 with my first tournament, ended up in the round of 16, and then got knocked out by eventual champion Dekar, so I wanted to do a little further. And round of 8 is, a little further, so... I mean, I am happy with as far as I made it, and if I make it no further, that's perfectly fine with me.
Gotcha. Another big question this seed is about your party composition, because chat was talking a little bit about how much you love Zerker parties, even on this flag set where the loot's a little worse. What motivated your choice specifically at Dwarf Castle? You had a Kane, you had a Young, there was an Edge right there, and you ditched an Edge with a Ninja Blade in hand. What was going through your mind there with the party setup?
At my mind, when I dished that Edge, I'm like, wait a second. Maybe I should have taken that Edge. I do have a little bit of grind on Kane already, but I did have a Ninja Sword. I did have a Full Moon for that Edge. Maybe I should go pick him up? Whatever. Kane's a good boy. He's got enough HP. We'll just do what we got. But also in the back of my mind was, man, they're going to ask me about this in the interview, aren't they?
Of course.
I'm like, I don't have a good answer. It struck me during the Dwarf Castle boss number 2 that no, maybe the Edge was a better choice, but you live and you learn.
I think some folks are more surprised you didn't swap the Palom for it. What was motivating your decision to keep the kid with you throughout that?
I like having access to Warp. I'm not sure. I think I had already done Luca, so the primary purpose of Warp was gone. But Palom is an excellent anchor that can still contribute in, contribute damage in numerous ways. Eventually, I did get Nuke at the end, so he was quite useful at the end there. I know that an alternative option would have been to take Rosa, throw the Curse Ring on her, and make her my anchor, and just Zerk up with 3 Zerkers. But I don't know. It's great on the Zeromus fight, I'm sure, but trying to Zerk up 3 people on moon bosses, for example, is just so expensive just based on the Bacchus and takes so much time to actually do that. I'm not sure it's much of a time save.
Sounds reasonable. So,
not sure if it's right, but...
Yeah, how are you feeling when you leave the moon, do all the stuff down there, and find out, nope, there's even more value up there?
I mean, I still hadn't done Cave Magnes by that point, so... I figured, well, I have 3 K main checks at this point. I have, the tower key turn in. I have the top of tower, which I faded this entire time. And I have the rat tail, which I found down in White Spear Altar. It seemed likely I would get at least one of the 2 outstanding key items remaining. And I did. I ended up getting the spoon, which was of very little use, unfortunately. But despite that, it felt like a good gamble at the time. And if not, then I'm heading right back up to the moon because Palom was still shy of Nuke at that particular point, and another 110k XP was all he really needed. And luckily the Pinktail was up there. I was kind of hoping that it wasn't going to be at the Cave Magnes, not because I dislike harp music, I love harp music, but I've been fading Twin Harp for so long by that point that I figured that Lord Bob probably would have done it by this point. And if a Pinktail was there, he's been running around with an Adamant, and I am completely in behind if that's the case.
So is that when, before we go back to the moon, you just need the XP and committing to the fade?
Yep, keep committing. As many great runners have said, commit to your fade. If you're going to fade anything, just commit to it, because the moment you flinch or the moment you hesitate and go back to that particular thing earlier than you need to is the moment where you're pretty much just giving up a bunch of advantage to your opponent.
Gotcha. Well, GG's. I believe because of the spoiler moratorium, we can't talk about who you're going to be fighting in the round of 8 yet. But are you going to be doing any preparation? You know, we're down to we're going to be down to the final 8 players. Are you intending to change your game up any to throw people off who've been watching your matches, or just keep on pushing the same way?
I am going to change everything. I'm going to dive moon the moment I get a darkness crystal. I'm going to fade ordeals every time. At least I hope my opponent believes that. I actually don't know what I'll do. I'll probably just do what the seed gives me, to be honest.
Hey, yeah, hard to argue with that. Well, do you have any final thoughts on the seed, stuff that we didn't address that you've been thinking about this entire time that you want to bring up or call attention to?
Man, that early game was really, really painful. It felt really bad to walk down ordeals, and then it felt really bad to take a life at Baron in too. I'm like, this is a very difficult early game, but happy to have gotten away with, sub 2 hours based on how mucked up my early game was. But other than that, no, it was a pretty fun seed, and I love going Zerkers, love Yang. I will be his champion for the remainder, I think, of Adamant Cup brackets. He is a fantastic character, and he doesn't belong in reject percent, in my opinion. But other than that, I just want to say thank you, Inven and Dave, for the commentary. I'm looking forward to watching it back, and I'm sure you both did a fantastic job. Tybalt for pushing the buttons, and Xenocat for rolling this outstanding seed. But yeah, with that, I'm done. Thanks, guys.
And we will see you soon in round of 8.
Hope to perform. Yeah. Have a good night.
Hey, GG's Rhybon.
Hey, good night, Rhybon.
So, one of the 2 undefeated racers remaining in the tournament, Rhybon showing off in great fashion tonight, pulling through that rough early game, and then just going through the rest of the season in such great fashion. Shoutouts to him. Shoutouts to both our runners. Make sure you give them both a follow. LordBobBree, also amazing. Would not be in the round of 16 if he weren't. Just had a little rough luck tonight. It happens to everyone. Sometimes you miss one item and you go the wrong places, and Rando's just gonna rando. But he's sticking with it. We're gonna keep hanging out here for now. And yeah, I don't think we have any matches tomorrow to hype up even, do we?
I don't believe so. I think we are. I think this is going to be it for the round of 16.
Yeah. Well, Chad, if you do want to avoid missing a single round of 8 match, you need to get on the Free Enterprise Discord. All the matches are listed there. Keep up with them. Know when they're happening. And round of 8 is going to be hype as heck.
Yeah, we've got some amazing matchups coming up. I'm not sure if we're allowed to talk about any of the round of 8s that have been determined, or is it how long is the spoiler moratorium?
It's supposed, I believe it's 24 hours. So I think
the left half should be fine then, because all those were determined yesterday.
Yeah. So we do know that one pair up will be Kyrios and Simbu. Simbu, an old hat at Free Enterprise, been around for a long time. Kyrios, a new name on the scene, but has learned a lot in a hurry, has won a lot of convincing matches. Just Kyrios, that's going to be a great matchup.
And Kyrios, one of our Pink Puffs, the winner of Pink Puff Season 2, actually.
Yeah, so absolutely killing it. Now, this is a grudge match between really good friends, Possumorpheus and Woobear. That's going to be... as someone, like, that's one of the reasons why I like not doing tournament stuff. I feel so much stress and guilt whenever I have to play against a close buddy. And so that's going to be interesting to watch just on that front alone. And of course, our other, well, we're not going to name the full names of everyone else because there was another climactic match 3 going on at the same one this one was. But the other half of the bracket is going to be pretty darn awesome too.
Yeah, the only one we're allowed, it's the only one we can say there is Martin Broadcloak is involved.
Oh, well, heck yeah. Martin's great. Meanwhile here, BobBree is still clearing up this lunar subterrane. We know that the 2 objective locations didn't really give you a whole lot to work with.
Yes, I believe you had to go to the Tower Key here? Or is that a Crystal Sword?
I guess we're gonna find out.
Crystal Sword. I know it's Rat Tail and Tower Key between these two. Yeah, so we know we had Tower Key at Crystal Sword and the Pink Tail at Murasame.
Gotcha. So this Rat Tail is a red herring, not gonna have any payoff in and of itself.
I think LordBobBree will be happy with what comes out of it, at least. Ed certainly likes his Hanzo Steel.
We do see a save and an exit is going to peak that. So we'll probably see a very quick reset back up to the moon once this turns up no key item.
Interesting decision. Unless you're thinking, I've already seen a bunch of stuff, this has got to be a chain.
Well, there's also the thought, if BobBree is watching the race room and you know your opponent wrapped up the seat a little while ago, you start to think, well, maybe, there's a cheeky play here that caused that.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, but honestly, again, the difference maker was that curse ring. I think that if BobBree had that curse ring, he gets through that Odin fight on the first pass that he was really going for it in Feymarch. Not the very first time there, but the second time back, I think,
right.
Boom, he takes care of business. Because you got the Bacchus wine in Dwarf Castle as well.
Yeah, the curse string plus the extra 200,000 experience.
And although his edge would love that Masamune, you can't leave the Wyvern altar hanging here, of course.
Edge will stare longingly at the fine steel as he gets pulled back through time to the moon.
You're going to turn in your pink tail anyway. You know it's waiting for you a little bit down the road. So you can look forward to it in the meantime. It's like when you're a kid and you know you're getting Final Fantasy IV for Christmas, but you just have to wait. You have to wait. You know that that's a little SNES cartridge box wrapped up under the tree, but it's not time yet.
And then you open the box, and it's I was trying to think of a terrible SNES game.
Captain Novolin.
You open the box and you find out your parents actually got you Captain Novolin somehow. Because they need you to learn all about diabetes.
Mom, Dad, I'm not even diabetic. Doesn't matter. You're expanding your horizons. Only edutainment titles.
Wow, what did I do to deserve that punishment?
So now LordBobBree does have that white spear here, which, if his cane survives this trio of spells, will do a lot of work this fight.
Unfortunately, surviving those spells was kind of a large ask.
It wasn't that large of an ask. It was 24 damage. But after you've been hit with the weak, it's a little trickier.
At 24 greater than 9, I think. Might need the chat to help me up on the math there.
I'm not allowed to do math anymore, so it is up to chat.
It's
also
a weekend.
here,
I don't do math on the weekend.
the agility is honestly still hampering BobBree a little bit. Like, just not getting the spells off in time to keep the Cane alive. Piggy's coming out before you can get the Zerks up. It's just, yeah, it's really impressive the degree to which agility matters in this game and how much it can simplify things for you.
Yeah, it makes things just predictable more than anything else.
And of course, Dark Elf, far more dangerous at the spot in Dragon form than it is in Elf form. Elf form, of course, the spell power here is just super weak. Dragon can be a little punchy, and the D-Breath is percentage-based.
So I think the Cane might have a piece of Dragoon equipment on, so the punches aren't going to be that threatening.
Yeah, not on him at least. The rest of the team might hurt a little bit. So kind of fortunate that they keep targeting the party member with Dragon defense.
And we see BobBree getting through with with more pigs up front. This seed's just all about the bacon, it seems.
And does get that tower key. Now, we saw him dip out to go check the rat tail. I wonder if he's going to stay on the moon to also hunt for the pink tail, or if this is going to be kind of the same route Rhybon took. Go through tower key, see what it gets you, and then come back if it's nothing.
I think what changes LordBobBree's calculations here is knowing the rat tail is nothing.
That does make a bit of a difference. So hopefully we see him walk back inside here. We do see a tent get used. I believe that's the last of his camping supplies. And is walking back in. That's great news. We know the pink tail is down here at this altar. We know Pildim should not be a challenge for his team. And that'll get LordBobBree into go mode as well.
So, saves coming the rat tail, getting BobBree value, just knowing that there's nothing. It shows sometimes knowledge really is power in a randomizer. That Cane does have some Dragoon equipment on, so I don't think the Paladin can do that much damage.
Oh, yeah. Now, the Palom, not up to nuke levels yet, but then again, neither was Rhybon's. The other concern I would have here is we are down to our last 2 bottles of wine, but, you know, Dwarf Castle's not that big of a trip out of your way.
No, and you gotta head underground anyway to blow up the super cannon.
So we got our Zerks going. We'll probably see our Blinks going as well.
And we see,
yeah, good.
We see Palom getting punched a few times.
I mean, that's actually kind of good. Better Palom than Edge in this spot. And the kid somehow survived 2 bops. It's a sturdy little child.
And hopefully BobBree looks in his inventory and realizes that he is out of alcohol, which is never a good situation to be in.
Again, it's great that this is the final moon fight, and we know where more is before Zeromus, so... Yeah, that's how big the punch is when it's not on someone in the back row. Woof.
And not on someone with Dragon Resist.
Yeah. Dragon armor, tiaras, crystal rings. They are all wonderful pieces of gear.
That's medium. I think the kid ended up 1 level short.
Yeah. And Edge missed the XP as well. Won't surprise me if... I mean, this team can handle Zeromus, but, you know, if you just want to nuke one final time in the tournament, it would not surprise me to see just a tiny little grind. Itty bitty grind. Little nuke as a treat.
Just an itty bitty little grind. might have to be 2 eggs. The kid's at 50.
Yeah. But LordBobBree now knows he's got the go mode. Flying on back to the blue. I'm really hoping there was an alt gauntlet in Cape Bahamut, just for my own, personal joy.
It would have been good. I was also secretly cheering for the alt gauntlet to be at Ogopogo because we always cheer for that.
Again, shout outs to our restreamer Xenocat and our tracker Tybalt. A heck of a seed tonight. Going the long haul, seeing every item in the game. So well done by both of them. And Xenocat, I'm good. I saw that early game. I'll seek newer, greener pastures.
We know all the answers, so might get through this in like 3 hours.
I mean, knowing the answer and wanting to... It's like, I can see someone do, 20 pull-ups, but I am... No. Oh, so that's how you do it. That's great. No.
Yeah, I could watch someone do 20 and go, no. I could do 1/10 maybe.
I could maybe do 1/200th. That would be enough for me. The upper body strength has waned in my old age. There we go. Masamune and Adamant armor. That Edge is about to be living his best life. We still have one little bit of orb to deal with.
Unfortunately, we will not be able to kick the orbs here.
Maybe we'll see a little one final dose of flame from Edge. Ooh, that could be fun.
When all else fails, light the computer on fire. Yeah, I like that way of thinking.
I like the Adamant armor swap there because in doing so, yeah, Edge, LordBobBree's Edge here is definitely, for Rhybon, the Yang and the Kane were a little more balanced. Here, Edge with a Ninja Blade and Masamune, I think has a pretty substantial advantage because you get the strength multiplier added for each hand, and thus I think the weapon's just so strong here that it's better to put the Adamant armor on the Edge. I might be wrong.
Agreed.
But that's my understanding.
Plus, it Masamune Ninja Sword added together simply have more attack than the White Spear.
Yeah.
Or Defense Sword.
Bonking the computer to death. Percussive maintenance coming through once more.
I see Rose and I have gone to the same school of fixing computers. When all else fails, just whack it a few times.
Exactly. And there's objective number 1 or number 7. Are we counting them by their order or by the order completed? That's a crystal.
More importantly, that's the entire rainbow lit up. And we see, and our tracker Xenocat can now take a nap.
Well, Tybalt's our tracker, Xenocat our restreamer.
Tybalt's our tracker. Yeah. Xenocat, no naps for you yet. I saw Xenocat on the screen, on the screen, and my brain and mouth decided they didn't want to agree.
Oh no, that's a whole mood right there. I feel you. And LordBobBree also going to have a slight use for this spoon that's going to drop. Can also throw it at Zeromus for massive damage. So the Edge here definitely getting a lot of toys to play with at the tail end of the seed.
I just had to keep Edge the whole time, and Edge finds things to play with.
Oh, there was technically one final thing for Tybalt to do. Now Tybalt can take it, can take a break.
Before before LordBobBree goes and kicks it, but needs some more alcohol first.
Oh yeah, replenishing the wine stores here. You won't need many. It will, with the damage output here, there's a small chance you see a black hole in phase 2, given the anchoring situation. But if so, you just rezerk one with wine and one with a manual cast of the spell, and you're good to go.
Or you rezerk the cane and have Edge start throwing the kitchen sink.
That's true. We have quite a few throwables here. And since LordBobBree does not have Nuke yet, I think we're going to see this Palom swapped out for that Rydia, just to put the entire team at relative agility 1.
That'd be a perfectly good play here.
Wow, that kid, Palom only had a Stardust Rod equipped. I'm even more impressed with how much he was surviving all those punches on the moon.
Really? Not even a Sork robe.
I think Rosa has that one on, and justifiably so.
Yeah, I think she intimidated Palom until he gave it up.
Yeah. And a good point. Empty slots do give you extra evasion. I think light armor in this game can also do it, but heavy armor, of course, you have to rely upon the defense value itself. It's kind of neat, because, you know, later Final Fantasy titles, there is an explicit, like, Final Fantasy 12, there is a very distinct differentiation between light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor. There's, like, it's mage armor, light armor, heavy armor. And the fact that there's even kind of an allotment for that as far back as Final Fantasy 4's mechanics, pretty cool. I like to see stuff like that remained throughout the series.
I don't think we really saw that distinction again for a while. Maybe in 5 and 6 a little bit, but then 7 and 8 didn't have armor at all, really.
Yeah, that's true. A bracer counts? Come on. I'm wearing this nice big thing on my wrist. It protects me from all the mightiest weaponry of the world.
I'm just going to accept that makes any sense.
And here we go. LordBobBree heading into the fight has the team arranged that base level Rydia anchoring, Kain and Edge ready to get zerked up as soon as the crystal is thrown.
And Xenocat pointing out that Final Fantasy V did have a weight stat, which I forgot about.
Well, and then Final Fantasy VI, of course, because physical defense and evade were broken, you just wanted all the magic evade stacked in the original release.
Yeah, it turns out coding for processors made in the 80s kind of hard. So I think that's when the SNES was designed.
I don't know about that. I just push buttons. Oh, and we do see a cursory dart of the spoon before we're going to see the Zerk get going here. Silkweb being used to nerf. We'll see who the nuke hits.
Rosa should survive this.
With enough HP to also survive the nerfed Big Bang. You'll love to see it.
Yep, should survive. What was it, 807 damage?
And now both Zerkers are off to the races. Rydia did her duty. She threw a crystal and she took a nap. That's all we required of her this fight.
Ah, yes. This is the part of the scene that's all about naps.
And the level difference here, actually letting that Kain with the lesser weaponry and gear keep pace with this Edge. I'm a little surprised. Oh, well, as soon as I say that, they flip who was doing mid-4000s versus mid-3000s.
I think there may have been a critical involved in there.
Yeah, Kain was high rolling a little bit. Betrayed by Kain again.
He's good at it. I think Edge low rolled and Kain critted. That's may have been what threw you off.
Yeah, but a very, very smooth here. Well over 6,000 a rotation.
Yeah. Should be in no danger of dying to an unnerfed Big Bang if it comes out.
Yeah, the Edge has the lowest HP here, but is wearing an adamant armor, and that forgives a multitude of sins.
Yeah, that 20 magic defense means 2240 is the max this can do to him.
Cure 4 already queued up to make up for that damage. Still have enough health on Kayn and Rosa to reliably survive a Meteo if we see one come down.
And now we just let the Zerkers keep making angry Berserker noises.
We do see a black hole, though. So here we go. We see the one burst coming out. Kayn will start swinging again immediately. Edge will want to drink that final flask of wine.
Now, is that Berserk going to glitch the Kayn?
I don't think it will in this case. I guess we'll know after these rocks.
I'm not sure how the Berserk glitch works exactly in that case. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. It's a little trickier if the character has died, been rezzed, and has not re-entered the queue. That's when you have a lot of trouble.
Agreed. I have seen it happen on Black Hole already, where Black Hole comes out, I've immediately queued up the Berserk, and oops, characters decided that they don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah. I think there, because the pointer had already come back around, LordBobBree was all good. And that swing from Kayn does the deed. BobBree sticking in there after some bad luck that seed. GG's out in chat.
Everyone get your GG's for LordBobBree sticking through this seed.
And we'll see if LordBobBree wants to come in for an interview. In the meantime, we will remind you, no matches tomorrow, no matches Monday. We'll probably see some Tuesday night, so be on the lookout. Look here, look at Free Enterprise, look at Free Enterprise 2. Round of 8's going to be hype. In the meantime, we are joined by LordBobBree. LordBobBree, GG's, way to hang in there. What a rude seed. Start to middle, just ugh.
Thank you, especially that Odin.
Yeah, we saw some struggles with that Odin.
I think the thing that made the biggest difference was just the misfortune of missing a cursed ring in a pot in Dwarf Castle that made the Fey March so much easier for Rhybon, whereas the agility situation was just so punishing for you. What was going through your mind there when you were dealing with the adversity? What was your thoughts on how to get past it, how to get through that Fey March?
Well, I think, searching shops to see if there was a cursed ring I had missed there, or just getting some sirens and hoping to overpower Odin there.
And that's one way to handle most problems in this game, throw enough levels at them and they go away.
As for party composition, you went with the Edge, Kayn, Rosa, and Palom. What kind of made your decision between which physical fighters to choose? Because you had some pretty good options between a decently leveled Yang with a bunch of claws, the Edge, and the Kayn. What made you go with the two that you chose?
Well, Edge is always nice, and I had found some good stuff for him, and then I found that White Spear at the top of the tower and decided to take Kayn, although, thinking back, I think Yang would have been a fine choice anyway, and would have saved me a trip there.
Gotcha. Dave, any other questions from you?
I think we're good here.
Yeah. Well, LordBobBree, any final thoughts of yours on that seed? Stuff we didn't cover, something that you noticed that you wanted to call to our attention tonight?
Well, it definitely felt like a nice test to go out on for this seed.
If you're going to go out...
I'm always learning stuff about this.
Yeah, definitely a great learning seed. One that many people, I think, could play and glean a lot more from the game. Absolutely. But hey, round of 16, you absolutely killed it. Ran into an opponent who is on an undefeated tear right now, I think you did great, start to finish this tournament, BobBree. Well played.
Thank you. And now, well, I get to enjoy other people racing now.
Absolutely. Well, GG's again. Have a great night. Way to stick with it. The moxie, the endurance, the not surrendering to that Fey March. You'd love to see it.
Yep, and good luck to Rhybon and as the tournament continues.
Well, NG Dave, that was a night. We want to remind chat, make sure you follow both these runners, both excellent runners of the game. You could learn a thing or two yourselves by following them. If you don't mind, give the Restream team a follow. Xenocat and Tybalt here for the long haul tonight, and NG Dave and me having a blast on comms. Dave?
It's been fun doing comms with you and Ben.
So, again, no races tomorrow, but you should still follow Limit Break. There's a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer going on. There's Dragon Warrior randomizer going on. And we'll be back with more Adamant Cup next week. In the meantime, if you give us a moment, we'll figure out where we're taking you all tonight.
That's what my pause is about. I was looking to see where we were going.
We'll get an update soon.
So make sure to give both our runners a follow. They put on a heck of a show for us tonight. And we wouldn't be able to do any of this without them agreeing to be restreamed.
All right, we are going to go over to another competitor from the tournament who's currently honing their skill in preparation for the next one. We're going to go see Cubs Rule 21. Great racer, is a Cubs fan, so be nice on the baseball front. Don't spoiler this race, but enjoy some more Free Enterprise tonight.
Yes, Cubs Rule is running a ladder race right now against a mystery opponent. It is the Fuario flag set.
So if you've been missing your Foo and your big loot here in the brackets, well, you're in for a treat with this flag set. Take care, everyone.